So it started with Adam Cole defending the Ring of Honor titles against Jobbers, the Dark Order. There they are. There's the Dark Order. If you guys don't know what they look like, but so this was obviously going to be a win for them for the ROH Tag Team titles. But the storyline here, there is an angle that they're trying to further is MJF's neck injury, which is from All In. But he's really having trouble with it. He actually ends up leaving the match and coming back, and they do end up hitting the double clothesline and win. The story of the match is Samoa Joe disrespecting MJF afterwards, and that was a callback to NXT. I don't know if you know that, Robert, but
I know. Yeah, I know.
I did see that before. I kind of had to be reminded of it to remember why.
I had to be reminded of it too, but I did remember seeing that before. Yeah.
Yes, so MJF couldn't hold back, and this ended up turning into a feud. So this is we're going to talk about this more on our Dynamite review after this, but this is like such a good idea, MJF versus Joe. Mm-hmm. This is like somebody came up with this, and they hit the nail on the head, to be honest. But let's move along because we're going to get to that in a little bit. They had a hot segment on Dynamite that I'm excited to talk about. We're going to jump straight into the hot angle from All Out that happened was MJF came out and addressed Samoa Joe, disrespecting him again. But this time he's not a little kid on NXT. He's the champion, and Samoa Joe immediately came out once his name was mentioned, and they got into an epic bagging contest, like a la the one that MJF had with CM Punk. This show started off really bad. Like, I skipped what was the opening matches.
Exactly.
This was 45 minutes in, and this was the first good thing that happened on the show. But this was so good. Like, this was so good. This made me like happy. I thought this was like perfect direction to go in. It would have been nicer, Robert, if Samoa Joe beat Punk at All In. Like if they could have like called an audible right there, like, oh fuck, Punk is gonna be gone for a while. Let's just make him lose. Because if he beat Punk, then this would be like a perfect feud. Samoa Joe coming in for the world title. But regardless, he's the best guy for the job at the moment. I didn't write down all the bags word for word, but they kind of went at each other. So Joe had his, MJF had his. All you guys can go back and watch it if you want to. A lot of stuff about Joe being fat. A lot of stuff about small penises. And MJF was very offended about being called a kid. And he was still had it in his heart about what happened on NXT. And they mentioned that he got pushed the same way and disrespected. So, like we were saying earlier, talking about if AEW will survive without Punk, this to me was like, damn, this kind of saved their ass. I was like, shit, yes, okay, I like this. Vlad, you want to give some thoughts about the upcoming MJF Samoa Joe feud? Are you excited about this?
Well, yeah, in a sense, of course I am, because
hell yeah,
I'm a fan of both guys, extremely. I've been following Joe for a long time. I mean, going back to his TNA days, I think I've always been a fan of his work. Always. He's just a serious, badass looking guy. There's no other way to say it. He plays the part well. He's really smooth on the mic. He's like a complete pro, and he knows what he's doing in there. He knows what he's doing. He's the perfect person to feud with MJF, actually, with after all the silliness that MJF's kind of been involved in. This is like a serious, kind of hot, juicy angle. And I think Joe's one of the few guys in the company that could, do that. And obviously, I think MJF is a generational talent, like he says. I believe that as well. So this is great. This is great.
Robert, how do you feel about this segment?
Oh, I love this. It was fantastic, and I think I was thinking like, wow, this segment is really going on for a while because usually there's commercial breaks and stuff like that. I think this segment, I don't know how long it lasted, but it went on for quite a while without any commercial breaks. And I'm glad it did because this was very entertaining. And I'm loving this feud, even though it just started right now. But the only downside for me is I think this feud, this angle, is overshadowing the elimination tournament. That's supposed to take place. For the who's gonna face MJF for the title. I think it's now pretty obvious, right? Like,
That's true.
yeah, it kind of takes the drama away from that. It's pretty obvious who should be the winner and who should go on to face MJF. Like, why even bother? Too bad for Roderick Strong.
I don't know if I'm so sure about that. I don't know if I'm so sure about. I think Roderick still has a chance because I think that
I don't think so, but okay.
I think that there's a storyline there too. So, but we'll talk about that in a minute because that's the other thing on this show that I really really liked was the Roderick Strong stuff. But this turned into a fight. They got down. These guys and MJF got beat up real bad and got his neck damaged more. He said he couldn't feel his left arm when the paramedics came out and everything. Joe did some great heel work at the end when he was like, laughing at him on the entrance ramp. He just looked like a monster. He was like the awful mean monster guy. And I give this segment like a freaking A, man. This segment was really good.
Yeah.
So